Every day gives you a chance, a fresh start. And the truth is, you don't need to overhaul your entire life in one big leap. You just need to win the day. One solid, focused, purposeful day at a time. That's how real progress is made in this video. I want to walk you through 10 clear and simple ways to do exactly that. Not complicated ideas, just real things that work. Things you can start doing today. You don't need special talent or luck. You just need the willingness to take a little more control of your choices, your habits, and your mindset. If you've been feeling stuck, tired, or like your days are slipping by without meaning, this message is for you. Because when you know how to win the day after day, it's only a matter of time before you win your life. So take a deep breath, get focused, and let's begin. Number 1, start the day with purpose. You know what's powerful? Waking up with a reason. Not just opening your eyes because the alarm rang. Not just dragging yourself out of bed because you have responsibilities. I'm talking about starting the day with a real purpose, a clear reason to get up, a reason that matters to you. So many people are just existing, not living. They wake up, stumble into their day, and before they know it, it's over. No direction, no energy, no thought. And this keeps happening again and again, every day, until weeks pass, then months, then years, and they wonder why nothing changes. The truth is, how you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. When you start strong, clear, and focused, you're far more likely to stay on track. But when you begin in a fog, when your first thoughts are about what you have to do, instead of what you want to do, or need to do to grow, you lose the power of the morning. So what does it mean to start the day with purpose? It means you wake up knowing what matters. You don't just get up because you're supposed to. You get up because you've got something meaningful to get done. You don't roll over and check your phone for 30 minutes. You sit up, you breathe deep, and you own that moment. Purpose isn't always some big goal. It can be small, simple, personal, but it has to be real. You might wake up and say, "Today, I will work hard and stay focused. Today, I will be calm and patient, no matter what happens. Today, I will do what I said I would do." It's about being deliberate, about taking control before the world tries to take it from you. Let me give you something practical here, because I believe in habits that work, not just talk that sounds good. Here's what I suggest you do. 1, decide your purpose the night before. Success doesn't begin in the morning. It starts the night before. Before you sleep, take 5 minutes. Ask yourself, what do I want from tomorrow? Not just the tasks, but how you want to feel, how you want to show up, what kind of energy you want to bring. Write it down, just a few lines. That's all it takes. You're giving your mind a direction. Now when you wake up, there's less confusion. You already told yourself what matters. 2, wake up with intention. Not in a panic. Don't rush. Don't wake up already behind. Give yourself some space. Get up at a time that allows you to breathe, maybe 30 minutes earlier than usual. That one decision can change your whole life. Sit up. Put your feet on the floor. Say something out loud that reminds you why you're here. Maybe you say today counts, or this day matters, or just I'm ready. This isn't about motivation quotes. This is about reminding yourself you're in charge. 3, do something simple that grounds you. Maybe you stretch. Maybe you take a cold splash of water to the face. Maybe you sit in silence for a few minutes. What matters is that you own the first 10 minutes of your day. No phone, no emails, no news. This is your time. You deserve 10 minutes to be a human being before the world starts pulling at you. 4, review what you wrote. Look at what you wrote the night before. Remind yourself of your focus. Don't just think it. Say it out loud. Feel it, see it, engage with it. You are not just reacting to life anymore. You are creating it. That's a powerful shift. 5, commit to one clear win today. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today that will make me proud when I go to bed tonight. Just one. It might be finishing a task you've been avoiding, or finally calling that person, or eating clean, or showing up fully at work. Whatever it is, define it and do it. A purposeful life is built one purposeful day at a time. Now I want you to think about something. What happens if you start the next 30 days like this? Not perfect, just focused, just clear, just with a reason. Imagine how that would affect your confidence, your discipline, your peace of mind. See, you don't get stronger just because time passes. You get stronger by choosing how you spend that time. And it all starts when you decide that today is not going to be another accident. Today is going to be a choice. That's what starting with purpose is. It's not magic. It's not some big emotional speech. It's just a quiet decision made consistently. And you know what? Most people won't do it. Most people will continue drifting, waiting for a sign, wishing for more energy, hoping things get better. But not you. Not anymore. If you're here, it means something inside you is ready to take control. Not of the year, not of the next 10 years, but of this day. And if you can do that, even just once, you've proven to yourself that you can win the day. Do it again tomorrow. And now you've got a pattern. Stack enough of those, and you've got momentum. And that, my friend, is how life starts to change. So, tomorrow morning, no matter what happened yesterday, wake up and own it. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be clear. And you have to be. Number 2. Make your bed and win the first task. One of the most overlooked actions that can change your direction in life is so simple. Most people ignore it. Make your bed. Now I know it doesn't sound like a grand achievement. It doesn't feel like a major life decision. But hear me on this. It's not about the bed. It's about what it represents. When you make your bed, you're not just straightening the sheets. You are telling yourself and your mind that you are in control today. That today begins with order, with completion, with follow-through. See, the little things matter. They always have. They're the foundation. You can't build a strong life on weak habits. The start of the day creates the pattern. And when the first thing you do is something responsible, clean, and complete, it sets the tone. Why is this so important? Because most people wake up and immediately step into chaos. They scroll on their phone. They complain about being tired. They leave things undone. And it only takes a few of those actions to weaken your self-image, to weaken your confidence. Without even knowing it, you start the day already behind. Not just in time, but in mindset. Now, when you walk back into that bedroom at night, and your bed is messy, what does it tell you? It says you didn't finish what you started. Even if the day was hard, even if it wore you down, you come home to a room that reminds you of disorder. But imagine the opposite. Imagine walking in after a long day and seeing a bed that's neat, straight, clean. It says something to you. You started strong. You kept a standard. It gives you a sense of calm. It brings a little peace. And some days, that's more valuable than anything. Making your bed means you're choosing discipline. Discipline is not always about big decisions. It's about small, consistent choices. And doing what you said you would do, even when no one is watching. Especially when no one is watching. You start with something simple, the bed. Then you carry that mindset into your next task. Whether it's your health, your work, your learning, it all begins with the habit of doing what needs to be done, without delay. Making your bed trains your mind to follow through. It teaches responsibility. This is your space. Take care of it. Completion. Start a task and see it through. Standard. Keep your space clean. Your behavior sharp. Momentum. One win leads to the next. It's about winning early so you carry that energy through the rest of your day. So why don't more people do it? Because they don't think it matters. Because they believe they'll do it later. Because they think the day hasn't truly started until they're doing something important. But I'll tell you, If you can't handle the small responsibilities, you'll always struggle with the big ones. You may want more from life, more success, more peace, more confidence. But it starts here, with you taking care of the environment around you, with how you treat your home, your habits, your space. What happens when you make it a daily ritual? You start feeling sharper. You become more organized. Your mornings feel more structured. You begin to expect more from yourself. This builds trust in your own word. You begin to believe, if I say I'll do it, I'll do it. That's power. That's where self-esteem grows. In the proof that you act on what you decide. How do you do it well? You don't rush it. You take 2-3 minutes and make it neat. Fluff the pillow. Straighten the blanket. Tighten the corners. Don't just throw the covers over and walk away. Make it presentable. Not for others, for you. You do it because you value yourself. Because you're showing up to life ready. Because you're setting a tone of care, not laziness. You treat your space with respect. And in doing that, you treat yourself with respect. What does this lead to? One good choice leads to another. You make your bed. You drink water. You stretch. You show up to work on time. You speak kindly. You finish your tasks. All because you started strong. It's all connected. Life rewards momentum. And the first task of the day is the spark. So every morning when you stand in that bedroom, whether in a small apartment or a big house, whether life is easy or hard, you have a choice. Ignore it. And you say to yourself, it doesn't matter. Do it. And you say to yourself, I matter. You choose discipline over delay, order over mess, effort over excuses. What if you didn't make your bed today? That's all right. The great thing about life is, you can start fresh tomorrow. But next time you wake up, stop and think, what message do I want to send to myself today? You don't need the world to believe in you. You need you to believe in you. And belief is built with habits. It's built with proof. And it starts with the very first thing you do in the morning. So tomorrow, don't hesitate. Start strong. Win early. Make your bed. Then go out and win the rest of the day. Number 3, move your body. Wake your spirit. There's something powerful that happens when you get your body moving. I'm not just talking about health. I'm talking about your energy, your mind, your spirit. We live in a world where most people stay still. They sit at desks. They lie in bed longer than they need to. They sit in cars. They stare at screens. And over time, they start to feel heavy, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They don't realize it, but that heaviness is stealing their edge, their enthusiasm, their joy, their sharpness. You weren't made to stay still all the time. You were built to move. And when you don't, you start to disconnect, not just from your body, but from your own potential. That's why this principle is so important. Move your body, wake your spirit, because motion fuels emotion. Movement wakes you up. It clears the fog. It strengthens the mind. And it reminds you that you're alive, not just existing. So what does this look like in real life? It doesn't mean you have to spend an hour in the gym every morning. You don't need to run a marathon. You don't have to follow some fancy routine. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is activation. Move in a way that makes sense for you. Maybe it's walking outside for 10 minutes in the morning. Maybe it's stretching right after you wake up. Maybe it's doing a short workout in your living room. Maybe it's just standing tall, rolling your shoulders back, breathing deep, and waking yourself up. The point is not how long you move. It's that you move every single day. Why is this so powerful? Because movement is connected to every part of your life. When your body is stiff, your thinking becomes stiff. When your body is tired, your motivation drops. When your energy is low, your decision-making suffers. But when your blood starts flowing, when your posture improves, when your muscles are awake, everything else starts working better too. You feel stronger. You think clearer. You speak with more confidence. You carry yourself with more power. And that can change the way people respond to you. At work, at home, in life. Movement clears the fog. Some mornings you'll wake up feeling off, a little down, maybe discouraged. You won't feel like doing anything. That's exactly when you need to move. Because sitting in that feeling won't change it. Thinking about it won't change it. But movement can. It's one of the fastest ways to shift your emotional state. Even something simple. Walking up and down your hallway, pacing outside, doing some deep breathing while you move your arms. It gets you out of your head and back into the present. It tells your mind, I'm not stuck. I can take action. I can shift, build a habit around it. The most successful people I've met all have some kind of movement routine in the morning. It might be light. It might be simple. But it's consistent. That's what makes it effective. Not the intensity, the consistency. Create a short routine that works for you. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even 5 is better than 0. You could do this. Roll your shoulders and stretch your arms when you first get out of bed. Touch your toes. Rotate your neck gently. Take a short walk, even inside your house. Do a few bodyweight exercises, push-ups, squats, jumping jacks. Put on music and just move around. Make it part of how you wake up. Make it as normal as brushing your teeth. You don't skip that. Don't skip this either. You're not just moving your body. You're training your spirit. When you take the first 10-15 minutes of the day to move your body, something happens on the inside. You feel more alive. You feel more capable. You feel ready to face the day. Your spirit responds to that effort. It sees the discipline. It feels the shift. And it rewards you with a sense of pride and confidence that you can't get from lying around or scrolling through your phone. There's a reason why people who exercise regularly often feel more confident, because they're proving to themselves that they can push through resistance. They can show up when they don't feel like it. And that's exactly what success requires. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to begin. Some mornings you won't feel like moving. You'll feel lazy, tired, stuck. Do it anyway. The mind will always offer excuses. But the body is waiting. It's ready. It just needs a command. Once you take the first step, standing up, stretching, walking, the energy begins to rise. You start to feel awake again. And you realize, I can win this day. Movement creates presence. When you move your body intentionally, you bring yourself back to the moment. You're not stuck thinking about yesterday's problems or tomorrow's worries. You're focused on now. And that gives you power. It gives you a clear mind, a calm spirit, a centered focus. In that state, you can make better choices. You can treat people better. You can respond instead of react. And that changes everything. The physical and emotional are always connected. If you've ever gone for a walk after an argument, you know what I mean. You felt angry, tense, frustrated. But after a few minutes of walking, the edge started to wear off. Your breathing got deeper. Your thoughts got clearer. That's not a coincidence. It's a principle. The body affects the mind. The mind affects the spirit. So when you move your body, you're not just getting in shape. You're getting in sync. All parts of you working together. And that's how you win the day. Final thoughts. You don't need to be an athlete. You don't need fancy clothes or a gym membership. You just need a few minutes each morning to move with purpose. You don't do it to impress anybody. You don't do it because someone else told you to. You do it because you're building the habits of a winner. You're setting the tone for your day. You're saying, I take care of myself. I take this life seriously. I'm here to show up fully. Movement isn't just about fitness. It's about freedom. It's about energy. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't sit back and wait to feel ready, but gets up and creates readiness through action. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, stand tall, stretch, walk, move, wake your body, wake your spirit, and carry that power with you for the rest of the day. Number 4. Feed your mind something valuable. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. It's the driver of every choice you make, every habit you keep, and every future you shape. What you think about influences how you feel. How you feel influences what you do. And what you do becomes your life. So, if you want a better life, if you want to win each day, not just get through it, then you need to feed your mind something valuable, not just once in a while. Every single day. You can't live a rich, clear, focused life with a poor, cloudy, distracted mind. That's like trying to grow strong with no nutrition. It doesn't work. Why is feeding your mind so important? Because your thoughts guide your decisions, and decisions create your results. If your thoughts are scattered, negative, or shallow, then your behavior will be reactive and weak. You'll keep falling into the same patterns, saying the same things, feeling the same frustrations. But if your thoughts are focused, clear, and strong, your behavior will be deliberate. You'll start making choices that reflect your best self. Your mind is always under construction. The question is, who's doing the building? If you don't build it, the world will, and it won't be careful with it. The media will fill it with noise. The internet will flood it with distraction. Other people's opinions will cloud it. But you have a choice. You can shape it yourself. What does feeding your mind look like? It's simple. Really. It means putting something good in your head every day. Read a few pages of a book that makes you think. Watch a video that teaches you something useful. Listen to an audio message that lifts you up. Study someone who's achieved what you're aiming for. Write down your own ideas and reflect on them. You don't need to consume hours of content. You just need quality. Even 10 minutes can change your attitude, your thoughts, your approach to the day. It's like taking vitamins for your thinking. You give your mind the right input, and it begins to produce better output. Clearer thinking, better judgment, stronger values. What happens when you ignore this? When you don't feed your mind with something valuable, it starts to drift. It gets lazy. You become more reactive, more emotional, more overwhelmed. You fall back into survival mode, doing just enough to get by, but never enough to grow. And if that goes on long enough, you start to accept it. You say things like, "That's just the way I am. I don't feel motivated." Nothing ever changes. But the truth is, you've just stopped feeding your mind. And a starved mind can't produce a strong life. What does valuable content really mean? It means something that helps you think deeper, make better choices, strengthen your character, understand yourself, grow your perspective, improve your discipline. It's not about what's trendy. It's about what's useful. What helps you build something inside. What makes you more capable, more aware, more mature. You don't need hype. You don't need noise. You need wisdom. Build a routine around it. The most powerful people I've met had a routine of feeding their minds. It wasn't random. It wasn't once a week. It was daily. They would say, "Every morning I read something worthwhile." Or every night, I reflect and write down what I learn, or listen to something positive while I walk or drive. It's not complicated. It's a small habit that compounds over time. Imagine reading just 10 pages a day. That's 3,000. Now imagine those are books that help you grow in mindset, business, discipline, communication. That adds up. But even more than the information, it's about identity. You start seeing yourself differently, not as someone waiting to be inspired, but as someone creating growth. Choose wisely. Not all information helps. Some content only numbs you. Some only excites you for a few minutes, but doesn't leave anything lasting. Be selective. Be intentional. Ask, does this teach me something real? Will this help me make better decisions? Does this challenge me to grow? If it doesn't, move on. Don't fill your head with noise. You only get so much mental space. Protect it like your future depends on it. Because it does. You have more control than you think. Many people believe they're stuck with the way they think, that their focus, their attitude, their habits, those are just fixed. But they're not. Thoughts can be upgraded. Habits can be reshaped. Attitudes can be refined. It all begins with input. Garbage in, garbage out. Wisdom in, wisdom out. That's why I say, you must feed your mind something valuable every day. Even if life is busy. Even if you're tired, especially then. Because the person who invests in their mind becomes harder to shake, harder to fool, harder to distract. Real examples from real life. When I started studying personal development, my life was completely different. I didn't have much. I didn't know much. But I had a hunger to grow. So I started small. I picked up books. I listened to people with results. I wrote things down. I thought about them. And slowly, everything began to change. Not all at once, but piece by piece. Because every day I fed my mind, I became better prepared for life. And now when I look at people who struggle, I can usually trace it back to a missing habit. They stopped learning. They stopped feeding their mind. They stopped being curious. And life got smaller. You don't have to be brilliant, just hungry. You don't need a college degree to improve your thinking. You don't need perfect grammar or a bookshelf full of classics. You just need a commitment. Every day, I will put something useful into my mind. That's it. That's the seed. And over time, that seed turns into strength. Final thoughts. Every day is a chance to get sharper. Every morning is an opportunity to think better than you did yesterday. Every moment you spend feeding your mind with something useful is an investment in your future. Don't waste your attention on distractions. Don't spend your mornings reading gossip or your evenings scrolling aimlessly. You were made for more than that. Build a quiet moment into each day. Feed your mind something that matters. And then watch what happens to your confidence, your clarity, and your results. Because when your mind gets stronger, you get stronger. And that is one of the clearest ways to win. Not just today, but every day. Number 5, plan your priorities. Don't chase distractions. Most people don't lose to failure. They lose to distraction. They lose to noise. They lose to too many things pulling at them all day long, and not enough time spent on the things that actually move them forward. You want to win the day? You can't live it by accident. You can't just wake up, look around, and respond to whatever pops up. You need a plan, a clear, sharp, personal plan. And it starts with knowing your priorities. Most people are busy, but not effective. There's a big difference between being busy and being productive. You can fill your entire day with tasks and still go to bed with nothing meaningful done. I see people who work all day and yet make no real progress because they're focused on the wrong things. Their attention is scattered. They check messages every few minutes. They jump from one tab to the next. They chase the latest idea, the latest post, the latest distraction, and at the end of the day, they're drained. Not because they did too much, but because they did too little of what actually mattered. Distractions cost more than just time. They cost you your focus, your clarity, your drive. You must know what matters most. Before the day gets noisy, you need to sit down in the quiet and ask yourself, what are the top 3 things that matter most today? Not 10 things, not 20, just 3. If you could only do 3 things today, the most important ones, what would they be? That's how you begin to take back your time. That's how you begin to win the day on purpose. Without clear priorities, your day belongs to everyone else. If you don't decide what matters, someone else will. Your phone will decide. Your inbox will decide. Other people's emergencies will decide. And none of those things have your long-term goals in mind. You'll spend your time putting out fires, answering calls, reacting to whatever is loudest. And then you'll look up and realize the day is over, and you're no closer to the person you want to be. You can't build anything that way. How to set clear priorities. It starts the night before. Before you sleep, sit with a notebook or planner. Ask yourself, what are the most important tasks tomorrow? What things will move me closer to my goals? What will give me the greatest return on my time? Write them down. Not in your head, on paper. Thinking about priorities is not the same as planning them. Now in the morning, you're not wasting time deciding what to do. You already know. You can move quickly, with focus, with direction. Break the day into blocks. Once you've chosen your top priorities, give them time slots. If something really matters, it deserves time, protected time. For example, 8:00 to 9:00. Write that report. 10:00 to 11:00. Study or personal growth. 1:00 to 2:00. Make important calls. This gives your day structure. And when the distractions come, and they will, you know how to respond. Not now. I have a plan. Structure creates freedom. It frees you from wasting energy on decisions throughout the day. It keeps your attention where it belongs. Distractions don't always look like problems. Some of the most dangerous distractions are the ones that look useful. Answering every message. Scrolling through content that feels motivational, but ends up wasting an hour. Jumping from task to task without finishing anything. Not all distractions look like junk. Some are dressed up like productivity. But if they pull you away from your real work, they're a trap. Your time is too valuable to give to every beep and buzz. What gets your attention gets your life. Think about that. Whatever owns your attention owns your results. If your attention is constantly pulled by the news, by gossip, by drama, by distractions, then your life becomes chaotic. But if your attention is anchored to your priorities, to your values, your goals, your next step, then your life becomes focused. And focused people get results. They build confidence. They stay on track. They live on purpose. How to protect your focus. You don't need perfect discipline, but you do need simple systems. Here's what works. Turn off notifications. Most of them don't need your attention. Start the day offline. Give yourself 30-60 minutes of uninterrupted time. Work in short, focused sprints. 25 to 50 minutes of deep work, then a short break. Use physical lists. What you see, you stay focused on. Say no more often. Not everything that asks for your time deserves it. Discipline is not about saying yes to everything. It's about saying yes to the right thing. Focus leads to fulfillment. When you plan your priorities and stick to them, you don't just feel productive, you feel satisfied. You end the day knowing you moved the needle. You followed through. You honored your goals. That's where pride comes from. That's where peace comes from. That's how self-respect grows. And when you do it enough times, it becomes who you are. You become someone who doesn't drift. You become someone who decides. You become someone who wins. Not by luck, but by intention. Final thoughts. Distractions are everywhere, but so is your power to choose. You don't have to live on autopilot. You don't have to chase everything that flashes across your screen. You don't have to say yes to things that don't bring you closer to your best life. You just need a clear plan, a few strong priorities, and the discipline to stay with them, one moment at a time. So before you move into your next day, stop and ask, what are my top 3? Where does my time need to go? What can I ignore so I can focus? Make it a habit, because the person who wins the day isn't the one who does everything. It's the one who does what matters most. And you can be that person. Number 6. Keep your promises, especially the small ones. Your word is one of the most valuable things you have. When you make a promise, you create an expectation with others, but more importantly, with yourself. Every promise kept builds trust. Every promise broken chips away at your integrity and self-respect. Winning each day comes down to honoring your word, especially when it's about the small promises you make. The big ones get a lot of attention, but small promises, the ones you make to yourself or others in passing, those are the foundation of who you are. Why are small promises so important? Small promises are the building blocks of character. When you keep those little commitments, you build momentum for keeping bigger ones. Think about the little things. Promising to wake up at a certain time. Promising to call a friend. Promising to finish a task. Promising to be on time. If you consistently keep these small promises, you develop a mindset of reliability. On the other hand, breaking small promises creates a pattern. It weakens your trust in yourself. You start to feel like your commitments don't really matter, even the ones you make to yourself. Self-trust is the root of all success. Before anyone else trusts you, you need to trust yourself. That trust is built through keeping promises, especially the small ones. When you say you'll do something and follow through, you prove to yourself that you're reliable. This isn't about perfection, it's about showing up. Doing what you said you'd do, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one is watching. Every time you keep a promise, you strengthen your self-confidence. You create a sense of pride. You say, I'm a person who does what they say. The danger of breaking small promises. When you break small promises, you send the opposite message. You tell yourself it's okay to be inconsistent. You open the door to excuses and procrastination. And this bleeds into bigger parts of life. The small broken promises pile up. And suddenly you don't trust your own word. That damages relationships, career opportunities, and self-esteem. Examples of small promises that matter. Showing up on time to appointments or meetings. Responding to a message or call within a reasonable time. Completing daily habits or routines you set for yourself. Keeping personal care commitments, like exercise or nutrition. Following through on deadline, even small ones. Each one is a chance to prove you can be counted on. They may seem minor in the moment, but their impact is lasting. How keeping small promises improves your day. When you honor your commitments, you feel in control. You feel solid. Your mind is clear. You don't waste energy on guilt or excuses. You start the day knowing you're dependable. And that confidence carries into everything you do. You'll notice others begin to trust you more as well, because they see that your word is reliable, making it a habit. Creating a habit of keeping promises requires attention. Be mindful about what you commit to. Don't say yes to things you won't follow through on. When you make a promise, make it with intention. Then hold yourself accountable. When you miss a promise, mistakes happen. Sometimes you will miss a promise. The key is how you respond. Own it. Apologize sincerely. Take responsibility. And recommit. This shows integrity. It strengthens trust. Because it shows you respect your word enough to correct mistakes. Small promises, big results. Over time, these small promises shape your reputation and your character. They influence how you see yourself and how others see you. By honoring even the smallest commitments, you build a foundation that supports your goals and your dream. Final thoughts. Winning every day isn't about grand gestures. It's about showing up and doing what you said you would. The small promises matter because they shape who you become. The next time you make a promise, no matter how small, remember, it's an investment in your character, your confidence, and your success. Keep your promises, especially the small ones, and watch your life change. Number 7, choose a positive attitude, even when it's hard. Every day brings challenges. Sometimes, life doesn't go the way you planned. Things get tough. People disappoint you. Obstacles appear. It's easy to let the weight of those problems drag you down. But what separates those who win every day from those who simply survive is one simple thing: the choice of attitude. The decision to keep a positive outlook, even when circumstances feel heavy. Choosing a positive attitude doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means deciding to look for solutions, to find lessons, to believe that better days are ahead, even when the current moment is difficult. Why is attitude so powerful? Your attitude colors everything you see. It shapes your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. When your attitude is positive, you approach problems with confidence. You look for ways to move forward, You stay calm under pressure. You influence the people around you in a good way. When your attitude is negative, you focus on obstacles, limitations, and frustrations. You feel stuck, defeated, and powerless. You may even push people away because of the way you respond. Your attitude is like a lens. It determines how you experience life, not by changing what happens, but by changing how you respond. The challenge of choosing positivity. Choosing a positive attitude is not always easy. Sometimes the struggle is real. You might face setbacks that make it hard to stay hopeful. That's exactly when attitude matters the most. Because if you wait to feel good before you choose positivity, you'll wait forever. Sometimes the feelings come after the choice, not before it. It's a decision, a habit, a muscle you build. How to choose a positive attitude, even when it's hard. First, recognize your power. No matter the situation, you always have control over how you respond. You may not control what happens to you, but you control your attitude toward it. Second, look for something good. It could be small, a lesson learned, a chance to grow, an opportunity to practice patience. When you focus on what's good, your mood begins to lift. Third, remind yourself that tough times don't last forever. Hard days are temporary. Keeping a positive attitude keeps you steady until the storm passes. Fourth, surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with people who lift you up. Read words that encourage you. Avoid things that drain your spirit. The effects of a positive attitude. A positive attitude doesn't just help you feel better, it changes your results. It opens your mind to new ideas. It makes you more resilient. It builds better relationships. People naturally want to be around someone who faces life with hope and energy. That positivity becomes a magnet for opportunity. It's a choice every moment, every day, multiple times a day. You face choices about your attitude. Will you complain or look for solutions? Will you dwell on problems or focus on progress? Will you carry bitterness or release it? Winning every day means choosing to be positive, over and over again, even when it feels like the harder path. Real strength is shown in adversity. It's easy to be positive when everything is going well. The real test is when things go wrong. Those moments reveal your character. Choosing positivity is a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows you're in charge of your life. You refuse to be a victim. You commit to moving forward regardless of the challenge. You don't have to fake it. Choosing a positive attitude doesn't mean being fake or ignoring your feelings. It means acknowledging difficulties, but refusing to be overwhelmed by them. It's about being honest with yourself, but refusing to be defeated by negativity. The ripple effect of your attitude. Your attitude affects more than just you. It impacts your family, your coworkers, your friends. When you choose positivity, you lift others. You inspire them to face their own challenges differently. Final thoughts. A positive attitude is one of the greatest tools you have to win every day. It's not about perfection. It's about choice. A choice you make when life feels hard, when problems pile up, when the easy option is to give in. The moment you decide to choose positivity, even just for one moment, you begin to take back control of your life. And that, more than anything else, is a true win. Number 8, be useful. Do something that matters. There's a deep satisfaction that comes from being useful, from doing something that matters, not just for yourself, but for others. This isn't about grand gestures or fame. It's about contribution, about finding a way to add value every single day. When you focus on being useful, your life takes on purpose and meaning. You stop spinning your wheels and start creating real impact. And that feeling, that knowledge that you made a difference, is one of the greatest wins you can have. Why being useful matters. Every person wants to feel needed, to know their time and energy count for something. When you're useful, You're not just passing time, you're building a legacy, even in small ways. Think about the people you admire. Chances are, they didn't get there by accident. They served. They helped. They made themselves valuable to others. Being useful is a way to connect, to build relationships, to earn trust. How to find ways to be useful. Look around. There are always opportunities. Can you help a colleague finish a project? Can you listen to a friend who needs support? Can you volunteer your time for a cause? Can you teach someone a skill you know? Can you improve something at work? No matter how small, being useful isn't about doing everything. It's about doing what you can. Well, and consistently, the power of small actions. You don't need to solve world problems to make a difference. Small actions add up. Holding a door open, offering a kind word, sharing knowledge, doing your part thoroughly. These simple things create ripples that grow over time. Being useful improves your self-worth. When you contribute, you feel better about yourself. You prove to yourself that you matter. That feeling of purpose drives motivation. It helps you overcome challenges because you know your efforts are part of something bigger. How being useful changes your perspective. When you focus on serving others, you stop obsessing over your own problems. You gain perspective. You see your struggles as temporary, your efforts as worthwhile. That shift in mindset is powerful. The link between usefulness and success. Many successful people credit their progress to serving others first. When you create value, opportunities come, doors open. People want to work with you. Success is not a solo journey. It grows from relationships built on trust and usefulness. Avoid the trap of waiting for big chances. Waiting for big opportunities to be useful is a mistake. You can start now. Look for everyday ways to contribute. The small, consistent acts create momentum and build character. How to make usefulness a daily habit. Make it part of your routine to ask, how can I help today? It could be in your work, your family, your community. Be alert to needs. Step in where you can. The habit of being useful strengthens over time. It becomes part of who you are. Final thoughts. Winning every day means doing more than just surviving. It means showing up ready to make a difference, even if it's small. By being useful, you give yourself purpose, connection, and pride. You build trust and open doors, and in that, you win. Number 9, reflect before you sleep. The end of the day is not just a time to rest your body. It's a chance to pause your mind and look back. To reflect on the day that passed. Reflection is one of the most powerful habits you can build if you want to win every day. Most people rush from one day to the next without stopping to think about what they did right, what they could improve, and where they're headed. But reflection gives you clarity, helps you learn, and prepares you for a stronger tomorrow. Why reflection matters. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Without it, mistakes repeat. Lessons go unlearned. You stay stuck in patterns that don't serve you. When you take time to think about your day, you see clearly what's working and what's not. You understand your actions better. You get a sense of whether you're moving closer to your goals or drifting away. Reflection connects the dots in your life. It helps you understand your story and how you want to write the next chapter. How reflection shapes your mindset. Thinking about your day before sleep sets the tone for your mind and emotions. You can end the day feeling grateful for progress made or frustrated by missed chances. Choosing to focus on what's good, no matter how small, trains your mind to see opportunity and growth. It reduces stress and worry. It encourages peace of mind. On the other hand, reflecting without judgment helps you recognize mistakes without beating yourself up. It opens the door for better choices tomorrow. What to reflect on. Reflection doesn't have to be complicated. Simple questions guide the process. What did I accomplish today? What challenges did I face? How did I respond to those challenges? What could I have done differently? What am I grateful for? What will I improve tomorrow? Writing down your answers makes the reflection stronger. Putting thoughts on paper helps organize your mind and track your growth over time. The power of nightly reflection. Doing this every night creates a feedback loop. Each day builds on the last with intention. It turns experience into insight, insight into action, and action into results. Reflection is like checking your compass regularly on a long journey. Without it, you can wander far off course without realizing how reflection impacts habits. Your habits are the foundation of your success. Reflection helps you see which habits are serving you and which are holding you back. For example, if you notice you skipped your morning routine several days in a row, reflection helps you recognize the pattern. Then you can adjust your plan to get back on track. Reflection keeps you honest with yourself. It helps you take responsibility and make better choices. Reflection and emotional health. The end of the day is a natural time to process emotion. Reflection helps you avoid carrying stress, anger, or regret into tomorrow. Acknowledging your feelings allows you to release them. It calms your mind. It prepares you for restful sleep. Without this, negative emotions build up and impact your energy and focus. Making reflection a habit. To make reflection part of your daily routine, create a quiet, calm space before bed. Turn off distractions. Sit down with a journal or notebook. Spend 5 to 10 minutes thinking through the day with intention. Answer your reflection questions honestly and kindly. Over time, this habit will deepen your self-awareness and help you grow steadily. The difference reflection makes. People who reflect daily don't just get through life, they grow through life. They develop wisdom, resilience, and focus. They catch problems early before they become crises. They celebrate progress and keep momentum going. Reflection creates a mindset of learning and improvement that fuels lasting success. Final thoughts. Winning every day is not just about what you do in the moment. It's also about what you do at the end of the day. Reflection is a gift you give yourself. It turns experience into wisdom. It turns stress into calm. It turns intention into action. By taking time to reflect before sleep, you prepare your mind, body, and spirit to wake stronger and more focused. Make reflection your daily habit. It will transform the way you live. And number 10, set the standard higher tomorrow. One of the most powerful things a person can do is raise their own standard. Not someone else's standard. Not the world's standard. Your own. If you want to live a life that grows in value, meaning, and success, you've got to decide each day to raise your level. That doesn't mean you try to do everything at once. It means you end your day by asking one question: how can I be just a little better tomorrow than I was today? Raising the standard isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's not about making life harder. It's about making yourself better. Why this matters? Most people level off. They reach a point where they get comfortable. They say things like, "This is good enough," or "I've done my part," and once that thinking sets in, growth slows down. Then it stops. But if you want to win each day, then you have to stay in motion. And the best way to stay in motion is to keep adjusting your personal expectations upward. Not based on pressure, but based on purpose. You're not competing with anyone else. You're measuring today's version of yourself against tomorrow's potential. What does raising the standard mean? It means holding yourself to a higher level of discipline, showing more effort in your relationships, getting up on time and being productive, communicating more clearly and respectfully, taking better care of your health, finishing what you start, not accepting excuses from yourself, setting new goals when old ones are met, being more honest, more focused, more consistent. Even if it's just a small change, it's a change in the right direction. And those small adjustments done every day add up to something powerful. Real growth happens when no one is watching. The world rewards results. But those results come from the things you do when no one's clapping. Raising the standard means not needing applause. It means doing it because it's who you are, not because someone's going to give you credit. When you do that, you build something inside that's worth far more than praise. You build character. You build resilience. You build inner strength, and you can't buy that. You have to earn it. Progress comes from pressure, the right kind. Raising your standard doesn't mean living under constant stress. It means applying the right kind of pressure. The pressure to improve. If you're not challenging yourself, you're not growing. Life gets stale. You fall into patterns. And then you wonder why you're bored, unmotivated, or frustrated. When you aim higher, even just a little, you create a sense of movement. You wake up with purpose. You go to bed with satisfaction. You define what higher means. Raising the standard doesn't have to look dramatic. It might mean reading 5 more pages of a book tomorrow. It might mean turning your phone off an hour earlier. It might mean choosing a better response during a disagreement. You know where you've been holding back. You know where you could be more consistent. You know the areas where you say this doesn't really matter, even though it does. Use that awareness. That's your starting point. How to raise your standard one step at a time. Review the day honestly. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to think about what you did well and where you fell short. Don't judge yourself. Just be honest. Pick one thing to improve. Not 10. Just one. Something specific and doable. Set the intention clearly. Decide tomorrow, I will do this better. Write it down if you need to. Make it real. Track your consistency. A small notebook or app can help. When you see your progress, you're more likely to keep going. Adjust and repeat. Not every attempt will be perfect. That's okay. Just keep raising it. Bit by bit. Why most people don't do this. It's easy to stay comfortable. Comfort is safe. Familiar. You don't have to stretch, risk, or challenge yourself. But over time, comfort becomes a trap. You stop believing in your ability to grow. You accept average. You settle. The truth is, raising your standard can be uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is part of growth. It's a sign that you're building something new inside. And the people who succeed in life, in relationships, in business, are the ones who keep growing, even when they don't feel like it. The satisfaction of self-mastery. There's a kind of peace that comes from knowing you're doing your best. Not in a loud or showy way. In a quiet, steady, disciplined way. That's what raising your standard does for you. Look back at the end of the week, the month, the year, and you can feel the difference. You're not just older. You're wiser. You're not just busier. You're more capable. That's what makes life rich. Raising your standard inspires others. When you live with high personal standards, you influence others without even trying. People see your consistency. They see your effort. They feel your integrity. And whether they say it or not, it affects them. Parents influence children this way. Leaders influence teams. Friends influence friends. Not by talking big, but by living better. You can be that kind of influence. But it starts with you. Final thoughts. Every day is a fresh opportunity. A blank page. You can use that day to repeat the same habits or to raise the bar, even slightly. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for progress. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Not because anyone is forcing you, but because you know you're capable of more. Because you respect yourself. Because you want to look back and say, I didn't waste my time here. That's how you win the day. That's how you win your life. Set the standard higher tomorrow. And then meet